Good morning. We'll give a couple of other members couple more minutes to arrive before we get started.
You can always tell when someone walks in the front door with that, you hear the door open down there, so. You got a quorum if you want to.
I'm on your arm. All gigged out. Yes. Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. I'll go ahead and call the October 22nd, 2024 Transportation Authority of Calhoun County meeting to order. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Yes. For 22nd, Eric Stewart.
Present.
Tom Turks. Tom
Here. Tarkowitz.
Parkowitz. Yeah. I said Kerr. Here. Okay. Linda Morrison.
Here.
Vivian Davis, Amy Evans.
Here.
Janasia.
Here.
And Paul.
Here.
And we have Christy, Mallory, and Matt.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. I put a line through it, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, is Chuck.
Yeah. Thank you.
If I could just remind everybody, we are recording. Matt's not here to take minutes, so they'll work off of the Zoom. So make sure your mics are on. Ready to go?
Perfect. Thank you, Tom. Well, number 3 item, approval of the agenda. We've reviewed the agenda. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there any support?
Support.
Is there any discussion, changes? Okay, hearing none, I'll call. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Perfect. We'll move to approval of the October 8th, 2024 minutes. So we've all reviewed those and what have you. I'll seek a motion for approval of those October 8th. Okay, thank you, Tom. It's been supported by Commissioner Morris. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Perfect. Time for public comments on agenda items. Any public comment? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Anything we need to pull off the consent agenda items or what have you? Okay, perfect. Presentations and recognitions. We're moving fast today, right? We have, well, I will say that presentations that were given were to the county, right? Yep. That went very well. To Priority Health Alliance, which that went very well as well, I'm hearing. Do we know if they distributed the collateral to their group? Because I did. Yeah. Okay, great. So we left some stuff for them so that they can, I know it was via Zoom and what have you, but it was nice to get that in their hands by the way they asked. And then we also had Battle Creek area realtors. I always get that, you know, the realty folk. Yeah, well, they have endorsed you, so yeah. Yes, yes. So that was a good meeting. Thank you for those folks that attended that. Got a lot of great questions. I have a couple of follow-up items directly that they've reached out, and we'll go ahead and satisfy that piece and what have you. Any other presentations that we need to be aware of? We'll talk about what's coming up. Pardon me?
Rotary of
Oh, yes, yes. Vivian is had a little disdain for me because my schedule got complicated. To be honest with you, I heard it was a fabulous meal. And happy, but a good presentation. So go well.
Great speaker.
Well,
Yes.
This group,
Back.
it's that bow tie. Do you wear the bow tie? Yeah, yeah. So no, that's great. And it's good we're getting the density out in this presentation. So we'll discuss collateral a little bit later and then move on from there. Any other?
I just wanted to share that Amy and I were at the MPC2 meeting in Battle Creek, and we were able to give a presentation there and leave some things with them. It went very good.
How did that go? Pretty well?
Well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Amy, you felt good about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Asked me if there was anything I wanted to add.
Well, that's kind of
Yeah, no, it went well.
good. Okay, moving on. Finance and budget report. Linda.
Not much update from our last meeting, other than I've received the second invoice from Bluefish Consulting for the second quarter of their contract. So I'll give this to Eric to approve, and we have 30 days to pay, so we'll hang on to our money until it's due. Otherwise, not much happening in the way of budget and finance.
So we're with Bluefish. I know we have that's our vendor that we have the most activity with. There's enough room for more collateral outreach to follow their plan and what have you. So
Because you've talked with them that there's more room?
well, they made their schedule out,
Okay.
and I know that we're out of materials. So I did ask that question. I'm not, as of this morning, I hadn't received anything. That doesn't mean it's not in my email.
Okay.
But we'll double check on that.
Okay.
But since we're renewing, we're not at the end of the contract, so I'd assume there's dollars there for another half order or something like that. Okay.
Okay, and we do have, we have some interest earnings to spend if there isn't room. So there is some funds available.
Doing good.
Yeah.
And then we reconciled our receipts with the city of Battle Creek.
Oh, yeah, everything. Yep, I've sent copies of the canceled checks. Things were cleared through the bank to the city of Battle Creek, to Ted Deering at the city of Battle Creek. They're aware where we are.
Okay, great. Any questions, comments for the treasurer based on the budget report? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to public hearings and subsequent board action. Seeing none, we'll move to unfinished business. Update on insurance options and recommendations.
Okay, I have a call in to Wargis Insurance, left a message yesterday to look for another quote for DNO, directors and officers insurance. Haven't heard back yet, so looking for just another quote. Good.
I think we'll go, well, they're coming down, so that's always good. I
Right,
think that
right.
Wargis, I've dealt with them in that product before, so
Good.
we'll see what we got.
Yep.
Update on marketing presentations and video recordings of TACC meeting. So one thing I want to tackle is, I know that I have no more collateral left. I want to assess the need for another order. So to give you a sense of what we ordered before, there were maybe 13 boxes of materials kind of split in half. I don't know what the number was, 10,000 pieces or something like that. My thought was to order probably half of that, but if I do, that means we can distribute about the same amounts to everyone. I'm not sure if we need that much. What's people's opinions?
I personally, I think I've hit my groups I wanted to hit, the presentations here in town. I just gave Chuck my remaining materials and he's going over Marshall House today or.
Yeah, as soon as we're done, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
So,
And-
I don't know. I don't think I will need any until we see what, after the election,
Okay.
the results.
So, Mr. Asher, see Miss Evans.
right.
She has some, she has. Okay. So what do other people think? Do we have?
Yeah, I have more. I don't need any more. Were you thinking the same or were you thinking a different? Because I've saturated, with most of the area. There's one other place I want to, there's,
Or other forms of the pamphlet, right? Yeah, it's not as informational as the cards or,
If you're gonna something, make it different. Maybe something that's for answers to the questions that you're getting. Be a big gauge.
okay,
and it would also be a little helpful to make it specific, like if you could make one for Springville and Albion, because we can show but when we do the presentations, we talk about the buses, we talk about the larger fixed routes and things like that, but more specific for smaller things, what is it going to look like, in the smaller communities?
I guess I'm gonna, maybe it's the conservativeness that I am. With 14 days to the election, should we be spending our money now? I mean, there's not a specific need. I know Chuck has done a fabulous job I've seen his emails. And so I'm just wondering, should we even order anymore right now?
that's why I'm asking the question, because if it sounds like we have moderate saturation. I get your point. The horse may already be out of the barn, if you know what I mean.
But this, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about hopefully after the election
Oh.
in terms of what it may look like. And then we can still promote it, but in
Yes.
a different manner.
Okay,
Yeah, and I'm thinking,
I think we're good.
I looked at the presentation schedule and there's nothing other than, I think we're doing a radio interview on Thursday.
Yeah.
Which, there's really nobody to hand stuff out to. I didn't see anything else as far as presentations where we'd be handing out goods. I have about 30 of the cards in my car as well, if anybody needs any more. But I
Okay,
don't think there's any reason.
so I'll let Ryan know to kind of hold off on that. I just inquired about, is that a thing, just in case Chuck I need 500 or
Yeah.
something weird, but I think we're good. Doc?
No, I have about 50 or 60 left in my car too. And I've saturated, at this point, I'm finding folks requesting the slides. So for example, some nonprofits are promoting those on their social media pages. I don't know if you've seen them. Dr. Bonner, for example, when I was in Albion on Saturday, asked for them to promote for their podcast. So I've already emailed them, copy to Vivian, because Vivian wanted to send it. So I'm actually getting more traction out of those. And I was going to say, so I've started using them on my social media. So I don't know if everyone has those slides, but if you have a LinkedIn account, or if you feel comfortable and you have whatever social media, if you feel comfortable, there's nothing that says that we can't ourselves put, because those they don't say vote for, they just say vote on the date. And those are getting a lot of traction. I actually have had several conversations because I just post that slide on my LinkedIn.
Can you do me a favor, Mallory? Did we got access to all of those, the what? Yeah. Can we put that in the resource area and under like a tab called flyers? And then we all would be able to go in and grab that and do our social media
I
piece.
can email them to you right now.
Let's email them to the group.
Give me a second.
Yeah, no, belay that order. My friend with the fabulous bow tie is taking care of that for everyone. That'd be, and for the record, that would be, Dr. Watson. For the minute taker. Okay, so, right, that's a great direction and what have you. So instead of making more collateral, let's all participate in social media blasts and what have you. I know we don't have as broad a network as Vivian, but do the best you can, okay? All right, any other comments on marketing presentations, video recordings? Hey, Dr. Watson, how did that piece work on the rolling screens and what have you? Did that work well?
Oh, yeah.
And it's on the front moniker too?
Or no, because the resolution doesn't work. It's all on the inside.
Okay, it's just on the inside, okay. So if you know of any other organizations such as senior centers and what have you that have that rotating piece, would you be able to, that email that he sent, or they sent to you, right?
Yeah, so that's the one I'm actually, there's 4 slides in there.
Yeah.
That's the one you're gonna receive in 2 seconds.
Okay. Treasurer Morrison?
Yeah.
Would you be able to forward that to Maya at the Cool Center?
Absolutely.
She wanted to put on her board for that senior center,
Absolutely.
and that's the thing she needs.
Yep.
Okay.
What about the theaters and marquees and things like that? Have you done anything have we done anything like that in terms of advertising? Because I'm thinking of the Bone Theater, purchase. We have 14 more days now, but purchase space for this weekend.
Yeah, so since we're not doing that collateral piece, maybe we can ask Ryan for that, to investigate that, Linda, if that meets that pricing model or what have you, your contract.
Okay, so you want me to reach out to Ryan to see if he can talk to the Bone Theater about running something on their marquee? Is that?
Well, I can talk with Shannon. I mean, as long as we have accessibility, once we get it, then.
If we can get a quote from Shannon, who I
Sure,
assume is
okay.
at the Bone Theater,
Mhm.
if you could pass that to the treasurer, you analyze where we are with that, and then we can ask Ryan, does that fit in your budget, or should we pay for that
Okay.
separately?
Okay,
It's not very much.
okay, yeah, we.
Screen, like when before movies start, they play.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
I
the
was
marquee.
just,
Okay,
Well, not the marquee outside, but inside in terms of
On a big screen.
advertising, yes.
yeah, I don't know how expensive that would be. I don't have any.
$100 or so.
And then, yeah, we have.
Or did you have some technical piece? You had a reaction?
It's full. It's
Well, okay. Okay.
Would be something, it's the social media stack. They know.
And that's money well spent. So we'll leave that at that. Let's just see what the exposure is on that, and how many people are exposed to that as well. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the coverage. I thought we were talking about the outside too, and everybody that passed it.
To the outside, usually but usually the BOEM has the outside, there's very small space.
Yeah.
And the outside is dedicated to what's happening inside.
Right. Okay.
But I was thinking, previews.
Let's get a list of what they offer, since that's an Albion staple. We'll go from there. Okay. Anything else in that category? Item C, update on potential candidates to maintain and handle TACC website and technology. Since we've published this, Amy has graciously accepted to kind of headline that along with the technical support that Mallory provides. That'd be accurate, Amy? We're working on that together with Mallory's group.
Yep.
Thank you.
You say technology, that's what makes me.
No, I use the term technology, but it is reviewing, just to be specific. It's reviewing those things that get published in the comment section, right? Or outreach that comes to us from there. And then the discernment of how to respond to that and what have you from the admin email for Rye Calhoun. And so.
Yes to that.
Yes, so.
Technology part was had me hesitating.
You were
That's not my specialty.
Well, but your specialty, your superpower is reviewer of information
Yes.
and what have you, and I need that.
Yes.
And Mallory will help us with some of the technical side of things and what have you, so we'll be good.
And thank you for doing that, Amy.
Yes.
And I've heard a lot of great comments about the website. I've heard a lot of people say there's some great information out there and easy to use, and so.
Good. Tom?
I'm not sure. I was going to bring it up later, but since you brought up the website, can we find a way either through support staff that we get our agenda out on the website prior to the meeting? I'm not
Are
looking at
you
you.
looking at me?
No, I'm
I-
not,
I-
but I'm just wondering
No,
is,
no.
you know, we really should have our agenda out there for the public.
Yeah.
See what's on our agenda. I don't know whose responsibility that is.
Well said.
So the agenda and the minutes, so like the minutes are listed, not in the minutes in August. So we need the signed copies of the minutes from August, September and October, also for my site. And then the minutes, or sorry, the agendas prior to the meeting would get emailed so that you can post them on the website.
Okay, because they are posted on Drive, OneDrive.
From the public.
Yeah.
Doesn't have access.
He doesn't have access to OneDrive. Okay. Because when you said the website, I put them on OneDrive thinking that maybe he would, anything he needs, he could find on OneDrive.
It might,
Yeah, so let's just send it directly to him, and then that would flag for him.
So we need to put it on the OneDrive. Yes, okay. Because I looked on OneDrive and they are there, so, yeah.
pull up the website and
They are not there.
they're not.
They're
I
not
think
there.
it's just, as a public body, we need to have that for the public to be able to see what's at our meeting so they can attend and, discuss any of the.
Right, yeah. I was thinking he would go to the OneDrive if there's, but okay.
Yep, so we're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Good conversation on that. Any other website pieces, technology pieces? We're good? Heading into new business, presentation items for discussion. The one question was, could our meetings be aired virtually as a virtual meeting for outside comments?
That takes a lot.
We barely can do the recording.
I know it's very difficult to do, have two-way conversations. I know the city council here, I don't think they've changed since I left. They do not do a virtual meeting. It's extremely difficult. That came up at our PHA presentation about, I can't remember who brought it up, about could there be a virtual meeting? It's very hard to do a public meeting be virtual. I don't know if any of your commissions and councils do that on your regular meetings.
During COVID, we were able to do that, but I think that after that period, the Open Meetings Act changed again and does not allow for you to comment virtually.
Yeah, so.
I meant virtually.
No, I just wanted to put it on here so that it would be, we've taken that request and at least talked to it as the board, so.
Mallory, did you have some technical input on that?
Like two or something. And then questions later. The city commission meetings get streamed live on YouTube. People make comments on those live streams, but it isn't something that the commission or anybody from city staff responds to. There may be questions posed that get answered later. So I mean, that could be an option, but that wouldn't be necessarily any different than posting these and allow people to speak.
Okay, so I have a solution that is possibly technology friendly and cost effective. Which now my first question, I'll preface that by my question. Getting this to the web page, how long has that taken? Do they submit that right after we do the minutes, or we don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, so
Matt has handled.
Matt handled that.
We really don't know what Michelle started this meeting. And then, I'm not sure what happens after.
Yeah, so we'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out from Matt what happens next.
Okay.
And then my solution would be to get this recording for Ryan. Ryan posted on the website with a pointer that says comment, meeting comments, and go into that comment section, and then we can respond to them from there. That'd be the catch-all, because that goes to the right folks versus this us trying to react in the moment here or what have you. We don't have technology for that.
Right.
Good. Okay. So that answers that. What is the possibility of putting our message on Facebook? Oh, that's the same thing.
Well, it's a little bit different because this question also came up at, I believe the PHA, can we put some, rather than just hard, I call them hard ads, do here at the city, we used to do Facebook Live interviews, where you would be interviewed and that would go out there, sort of a televised, just a recording, sending our message out there. Put it out on again, I'm not that techie, so I don't know how that all works, but the question was, could we have some recording out there for the public to watch to, not our meetings, but just, go through the FAQs and be able to let the people hear more rather than just reading.
Okay.
But I don't know how that works, or I'm not a Facebook person, so
Yeah, there's different ways that could be facilitated, and we'll go ahead and consider as we do outreach and what have you. Maybe that could be a good question for Ryan, but
maybe, I don't know you're getting a radio interview, or somebody's doing a radio interview.
Say,
Can that be put on our website?
I don't see why not.
I don't know the radio stations. Yeah, I'm just thinking that would be to serve the purpose of what the question was from the PHA.
Yeah. Any of those links, any link that we have media wise can be
Can
linked.
be saved and then go back, if I can't call in questions, hard questions to you, and can it be looked at later? Because that would serve this purpose of what they were asking, that interview. Whoever's doing it, I'm looking at all of you over there. I don't know who's doing the interview.
that would be me. And I can talk to Mandy Marshall about it and see if that's
And if it could
a
send
possibility
to
that we
Ryan.
get
and
a
then
copy
put
of
it out
the.
there.
And any of this can get posted on the website and access and what have I think that we'll kind of go from there. And then the other piece is that some of the radio PSAs can be posted there too. So we'll just post everything we're doing and kind of go from there. Full disclosure. Any other? So this PHA meeting, did you talk about any mobility related health issues? Isn't that the purpose of the group? Or did we just talk about technical concerns?
The PHA meeting, those questions came up, saying, how can we get our message out to more people? But no, there was very much,
A health related discussion is it related to mobility.
Really is a wealth of experiences and programs and companies and, you know, healthcare providers in Calhoun County. So PH, the one that I'm thinking of.
yeah, the one that's
Yeah.
all talk.
All talked at, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it's Population Health Alliance. I think.
Population Health Alliance.
So, but mainly, well, the hospital, well, you're a member as a college, the hospitals, Oaklawn, Bronson,
All of the healthcare providers, about 30 or more healthcare providers are a member of the group. So
they hear the concern. I believe our dial ride numbers used to be 60% of our rides were for medical purposes. And so they were very interested and supportive.
And maybe we can get them engaged in advertising and things of that nature as a group. So, okay, moving on. Any other new business or what have you? Okay, hearing none. Updated information around Ride Calhoun flyer distributions. We talked about that a little bit. I think we got that covered, right?
Yep.
Okay, nothing else there. Back to public comments on non-agenda items. Any public comment? Yes, sir. You can state your name and kind of the general information, where you're from, what community you're from.
Good morning, Mick Woods, live in Marshall Township. And I want to tell you up front that I do appreciate all of you trying to piece this big project together, and it's taken some time. I remember overhearing a conversation that you, Tom, had when you did the presentation at the County Board of Supervisors many months ago. So I am familiar with you in that way. Rest of you all brand new. So my main question is, if your funding proposal does not pass on November 5th, what is your plan going forward? I am a candidate for the Marshall Township Board, and one way or the other, if it passes or if it doesn't pass, the township's going to be affected. And I'm just kind of like, from my own personal
What's going to happen?
information, what's your plan going forward if it doesn't pass?
Yeah. So I have, and I'll allow other members to chime in, but I'll give you my perspective. We built this strategy based on a successful jaunt at a proposal. And in terms of what conservatively we look at would be the value for the community in terms of expanded transportation. So that's what you see in our presentation today. If the millage is not successful for one reason or another, that strategy doesn't go away. So we would take a look at our current budget, our current systems and what have you, and create a new strategy that fits that mold. Now, it wouldn't be as dynamic as if the millage had passed, but we're going to continue our education campaign and things of that nature to hopefully be successful in the future as well. So there's a couple of mechanisms that have been kind of discussed in terms of taking more bites at the apple, maybe potential special elections, the next election coming up or what have you. But from this body, that's as far as we've thought about that leap, if you will. I think consistent education campaign and what have you for all folks within the county, whether you're in a township or in the communities that chose to participate, but we'll have to cross that bridge after the election and give some feedback and have open communication and honest dialogue about what does that mean. So, do we have a firm backup plan and what have you? It's not fully baked yet, but we know the service that we have today and whatever we can do to tweak minor improvements. But we have to revisit those budget pieces and take a look at what does the existence of TAC mean without that support. And so that conversation would need to be had investigated, but we have been fully focused on this is what the community gets based on this not to exceed amount and so on and so forth. And that's been part of the strategy. So
I guess I would chime in that our next meeting is the week after the election. So hopefully we have everything counted by then. We should have the local. I work early voting at the county. I work here at the city doing the absentees. And I think that meeting on the 12th, we will then figure our route. I was asked at one of my presentations, well, what's your plan B? I said, we've been working hard this year to get to this point, which we have been actually commented over at Bell Creek Realtors Association. Is we've come a long way in less than a year now when we've been meeting. We have a lot of stuff we've talked about, and but I think it's because as former city manager here and running the dial-R system, there's a lot of area that's in your township, Castlewood, Squaw Creek, and the developments that are going to be occurring out in the township that need service. And I talked to somebody walking in the door here that, they had kids going to Marshall Academy, which is out in the township, out on the southeast side of town, and things like that. So there is a need in our community, both the township and I'm not sure when, Mallory, you presented to Marshall Township Board or exactly how that all worked, but I think we need to go back out as a authority board now that we exist and talk to these townships and see what their needs are and see, what the feeling is. And is there that opportunity where some township who might want to participate in some way? Because there's also, I know it's on the Marshall Township agenda last night, is we have 3 Oaklawn medical facilities in your township.
4.
Oh, they're 4? Okay. I was counting my head here. I probably forgot Preston Drive.
Yeah. I didn't even know that one was there.
Yeah. So Oaklawn Hospital has 4 facilities that happen to be outside the city limits of Marshall and Marshall Township. And they, again, over 60% of the rides on Marshall Dial Ride are medical reasons. So, whatever way the vote goes, we've got a lot of work to do after that. So.
Well, that's why I asked my question this morning. They proposed to the township about bringing in those 4 properties within the city limits to be available to the TACC program.
Yeah. Over my 30 years here with the city, we have talked to when it used to be, we'll talk local here, Dr. Valle's office and on city water and city sewer, because they're on a medical facility on a well. It's not the best thing to do because of the state health department, but we talked for years about how do we be able to service some of those facilities that are medical related, as a city. And so, I just heard about it last night that they actually had made a request after many decades of talking about it. So, but utilities are, I think, crucial to a lot of facilities.
Right.
is there any other comment? I would just like to say thank you for the question, and I thank you for your observation on the work that's been done with this board. And I want to echo, it's been a short period of time. And in that short period of time, what this body has done is build a strategy that was conservative based on the best value options for the entire county, which is a heavy lift.
Right.
Given that we had some gaps in several of our communities that opted in. We also took the track of being non-political with the votes that had happened before, understanding that there was a limited strategy, and that strategy before was based on this study that kind of took into some assumptions that a lot of folks weren't happy with. And our strategy assumes best intent on including every human being that has that right of mobility, whether it's in Marshall Township, some other township, or within those opportunities that opted in. So what's important, and I talk about this in every presentation that I do, and I know it's echoed by my colleagues, that from the tax perspective, we want to continue to work with all of those municipalities that are interested in participating and figure out some way to homogenize participation.
Right.
Versus saying, oh, you voted wrong and too bad. That doesn't get us being mobile from one section of community to the other. So we want to try and figure that piece out as well. But that's the attitude that we have going forward. And I think that regardless how the vote goes, that same lack of mobility will exist either way. And we're called to try and tackle that in some manner.
Mick, I'm not sure if you've seen our presentation, the PowerPoint presentation.
No, I haven't seen
it.
it.
It is on the Ride Calendar website. And the mission statement and the last two words are for all. And that's our mission statement is transportation for all. So we all agree on that. We got to figure the way to do it.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. That Tom has read the mission statement. Thank you, Tom. It's great. Any other public comment? Look, oh, Tom's got up on his computer. Oh, Tom, you were there. I thought that was remembering. No, this is great. Any other public comments? Okay. Any upcoming events? Oh, we talked about the upcoming events. Director comments. Any other director comments?
You know, the only director, well, not a director comments, but we have all of the presentations and the reminders and the handouts and things that we've done have been very well received. One of the things that I know that we're going to work on, and excitement has been generated because in the Albion community, this is something new and different and very, very much needed. We have, I guess, like townships, and I don't know if we have, we haven't talked about that, but I did get a question and I was going to just bring it up. This is something for
Nick?
later.
Hold on just a second. Yeah. Mick, we have to leave those doors open, Mick. Public, yeah, for the Public Meetings Act, yeah. Yeah. Ironically, I violated that several times myself.
I don't know, I think I might have sent it to you regarding, one question regarding the, I guess, our town, Albion, you know, there's Albion City, but Albion City has collaborated with Jackson County for a portion of Amerton Village, it's called. Those students are allowed to go to Albion Public School, well, Albion Marshall Public Schools as Albion students, but they live in Jackson County. I wonder how I mean, that's something that we can think about or talk about, but that's going to be a problem in my community because we are crossing the boundaries in terms of the school and in terms of transportation to school, but it's a different county. So, you know, that's something that I wasn't able to even attempt to answer because it's a different situation here.
Mallory, does MDOT, can they allow the district? I mean, it seems like we went to MDOT something for the city to request to service that was out of our sort of legal boundaries, and Fred said we could.
Is it? Or
Could you go, because I don't know for the recording, thank you.
Okay, so number one,
Your legal boundaries are determined by your articles of incorporation. So your articles of incorporation specifically identify the TAC boundaries. There isn't necessarily a law or any sort of regulation that prevents you from crossing that boundary. It typically takes what's called an intergovernmental agreement. We have one with Van Buren County, we have one with Cass County, because they come into our service area to bring their passengers or their community residents to the VA hospital. So it isn't impossible. There could easily be an intergovernmental agreement between JATA, which is the Jackson Area Transportation Authority, and the TAC. The question is going to be, does the TAC want to expand those boundaries? Typically, authorities stay within their boundaries because a millage supports it. So again, keeping in mind how hard and fast do you want to draw those lines to serve communities that are not paying for the service, unless they're participating in another way, like through a contract for service or a different type of interlocal agreement. So if Jackson Area Transportation Authority, we do this with Kalamazoo. Christie plans trips for people where they can use our system to get to basically the VA hospital. And then from the VA hospital, they get on the Kalamazoo Metro system. And that's how they get to Kalamazoo. We can make a similar arrangement kind of thing with JATA. We could allow JATA to come into Calhoun County or into the TAC boundary. I mean, it's really all just paper agreements.
Okay.
Yep.
I think we're gonna find more of that than we realize. For example, a lot of people don't know that the village of Union City is in 2 counties. And so we may have to, you know, if all of a sudden those townships start working with us to and opt in, that's an example of what do we do with Branch County? You know, their county administrator, we're closely related with the new county administrator who's coming in. And so, I mean, those are the kind of things that we're gonna have to look at. There's gonna be a lot of those
Okay,
little strange little things that we're, gonna work out in the future.
right, okay.
Countywide transportation system, that you would just be able to create interlocal agreement with. Okay, you guys.
Thank you.
Any other comment? That's great. I think that based on your explanation, this progressive strategy may be even pending a successful vote, a phased approach on that piece. So we may start a service based on the vehicles we have in the volume and pre-order. Handling these areas and then having those conversations, those strategic conversations with businesses, municipalities, what have you, on here are our options, or menu options, if you will, and impact options, and start kind of negotiating that to see what's in it for that municipality, keeping our mission in mind, and then, or that business or what have you, and then approaching that way and then expanding that circumference outside of our general areas until we have some density coverage and we're comfortable with meeting the demand. So because the other side of it is there's a labor component, type of vehicle component, and a routing component that all plays into that at the same time.
Right.
It's a simple formula for transportation people, but it's a little more complicated than that for the layperson.
And isn't it fair to say too, Eric, that the Michigan Transportation Connection that we have contract with is going to guide us through that kind of stuff and make recommendations, because I've seen it many but other places along with it, right?
So that's just for the record. That's where I think where the puck is going and where we're trying to skate to. So good. Any other comments? Okay. Having said that, please step up to the mic. Technical assistance, Mallory.
I would like to get frequently asked questions finalized as soon as possible. So if you guys could please send me the questions that you're getting. I've only gotten 2. back. So if you guys can send me those questions that you're getting so that I can help you answer those, so that you can put those on the website. Those are being asked for.
Yeah, I think Mick's question is
Yep.
along with mine. Tom, you've had a variety of those. Have you submitted those?
No, I have not.
Okay, so Tom has like 16 to submit. He's been holding them tight
They
to his
picked out
chest.
everywhere. Don't say everywhere.
Yes.
Questions. So, and I pose the same question to my staff as well. Like, is there anything you're hearing out in the public that we need to answer or clarify? Anything that we can then also provide Bluefish, or those running the social media pages to produce content for the social media pages. So that way it'll be able to answer the questions and provide engagement.
I think per Vivian's observation, the frequently asked question about what's the impact for my specific community, call it Springfield or Albion, where there was no service, and what's the benefit? If Bluefish created some social media splash content for that, we would be able to begin to have traction and blast that in our communities, the same way in which we did collateral. So posting that or sending that to the group and saying, here you go, may be the answer to that question.
Okay.
Your community, right?
Yes.
Yeah, have one and Battle Creek has one. Yeah, so those are cool.
What do you mean, electronic billboard?
No, a static billboard, the big things that you see along the highway, but
Yeah.
city too.
Well, my picture is on my,
Oh, it's been interesting that the most awareness for me has been the dichotomy expressed within neighboring slides of the estimated unmet need at that 20,000, and then the BC Go actuality of the unmet need being over 100,000. And then the conversation about the BC Go being 3 weeks out for an appointment. Those three in a sequence is like the clincher, because it really it's an evidence based statement that we're making, and the issue with the unmet need is truly, I think, that the linchpin for all of this. So a lot of individuals who, and this is what I think we talked about this in the front end, is how do you convince individuals who don't need to ride said transportation to vote for said transportation? And I think that has been probably the most convincing in terms of a need expressed in the community, because I think most community members want to help the community, not necessarily use the service. And I think that was, so master stroke to whoever put in that order. Thank goodness we had the BC Go pilot, because I think that helped us a lot in this conversation. So just want to add that as a, that's really been the focus where all my conversations come back to.
That's what this is about right there, because to your point, that's almost the crisis statement. And if we solve that, the entire region would prosper, whether we use the service or not. One last thing. Was there any other comment? So one last thing. I know that I teased out with Ryan purchasing, I feel selfish, purchasing for myself some Ryan Calhoun gear, which he has, and he made a t-shirt and a polo. You see me in a pretty bright polo. Those are available for purchase. Okay, so we've been on the Bluefish emails. Everybody has access to Ryan. I'm going to talk to him about making that more public. But from this body, if you're interested in purchasing those, just take email, tell him what you need, and he'll order those fairly quickly. Okay, so I like the t-shirt better than I do the polo. It's pretty slick because it has a back and a front and all that other stuff. But Vivian would want. They don't have any bedazzled shirts yet. So, but I'm pretty sure you could take care of that. So, all right. Any other comments? Reminder: next meeting is November 12th, 2024. Same time, same place. And if there's anything that happened along the way, it's already January, man. but, you know, it goes by fast. You know, so, but I'm very impressed with all of you, the support that we provided regionally, and the quick action of this group to be participatory in presentations, outreach, follow-up, getting things structured. This is a heavy lift. And to say that it's been done in less than 6 months, given some of the barriers, impediments, and successes that we've been engaged in has been monumental. I applaud each one of you for your participation and your commitment. So thank you. Okay, I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks for coming, Mick.
Y'all get that.
If there's any questions,